welcome to sportsbookreview.com. It's La Liga, it's week 18. Atletico still sitting there at the top with their jammy 90th minutes, 1 yard tap in from Suarez. Always gets me off to a good start. But hey, we've got Román from La Liga Lowdown and we've got Martin. But first of all, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. And Rackman, I know it's your first day in the chat. Feel welcome. And when I say ring the bell, that means that we'll notify you and you'll never miss any content again. And next week there's going to be a shuffle in the schedule because one of our normal guests on Serie A and Bundesliga, he's got to go into hospital and have some work done on his face. So we're going to be obviously doing shows on different days, so make sure that you have subscribed and we can let you know when. Also press a link in the description. That'll take you over to the articles where they have parlays and they give you just that little bit more info on individuals. And it's written, so some of you can't read, get someone to read it to you. Román, I'm going to come to you first. Atletico, I went with Alaves, double chance. I want to have some work done. Gutted that Atletico got a 90th minute winner.
I know. I mean, if you were betting against them, of course, it sucked quite a lot. But in the end, this is Atletico, that 1-0 result, that the little last-minute goal, that's their kind of thing, They don't play spectacularly well, but then they get the results. They're very efficient when they go to these, play against these teams, go to these stadiums over Spain. They're a team that is just capable of getting the result when they need it. And of course, you'd expect them at some point to lose, to drop points. But Atletico, as I said, are very efficient, and that's what could make them win the titles this season if they keep this consistency, which will be a very interesting thing to find out.
Yeah, very lucky as well, by the way, because the first goal against Alaves was a massive deflection, and it finds its way into the back of the net. Honestly, I am so beaten up on Atletico. And then they go and get beat 1-0 in Copa del Rey. Román, do you think that that's one of those where they're going to be fighting on too many fronts? They weren't that bothered. Or they were just on the night, the better side won?
Well, I think in this case, Atletico did have a bad day because in that game against the Cornellà in the Copa del Rey, which is a Segunda B, which would be like third division team, they had 15 shots, but none were on target, and they actually have had some decent players on the field, like João Felix, like Kondogbia, Saúl, etc. So it wasn't like their B team or their C team or anything like that. Good players were on the pitch, but Luis Suarez wasn't there, so maybe they were missing that guy to slot the ball in right at the end or something similar. But I just think that their performance overall wasn't good. They were slightly unlucky, and Cornellà, of course, they get some credit for playing a good game and scoring the goal they needed.
Martin, there's quite a few sides in behind Madrid and Atletico who are now starting to give us a little bit more confidence in knowing what we're going to get from them.
Perhaps, yeah. I think there's a few inconsistent teams. I can't see anyone knocking those two off first and second spots. Still do think it's going to be a two-horse race this season due to the struggles that Barcelona have had. The table's looking pretty attractive to an Atletico Madrid fan now. They're 2 points clear and they've got 2 games in hand. But Real Madrid overall are in terrific form, and I still expect them to chase Atletico down in the second half of the season and just about defend their title. But it's looking like it's shaping up to be a really intriguing race. Some of the other teams below them have the squads are too small, like Real Sociedad. Sevilla just look a bit too inconsistent for me. So there's going to be a real battle for that 4th place. It's like anyone's really, it's up for grabs. But yeah, hopefully we're going to see a few trends developing now. We've got a good idea of which teams are playing pretty defensively, which teams are showing more ambition. So it really does help with both teams to score bets and total goal bets.
Okay, before I put the records up, just make sure you get your little leans, tips, questions into the chat. And also with the thumbs up. We've got 60 watching. 25 of you have put your thumbs up. That means there's 35 of you who are just watching and enjoying. I don't mind you watch and enjoy, but as I put the records up, why don't I look back and see that that's gone way over 30? Put the records up, please, Fab. It's not good viewing, by the way. Martin, plus 1.86. Well done, Martin. It's been tough in La Liga. Obviously, Barcelona not turning up. There's been quite a few others that have let us down as well. La Liga, Lowdown, a minus 8.16. That's not you, though, Román. That's Ewan and Paco, okay? That wasn't, none of that's you. Flash at 0.65, just basically treading water. Happy to be there because it's been so tough. But parlay has been costing us. So today, we're going to try and find a big parlay. Serie A was struggling. They've gone back-to-back parlays because they've gone squirrel parlays. not interested in that. And the total 18.49. So let's eat into that now. Second half of the season, no excuses with any sort of distractions. We're going to be going for Europe in about 8 weeks. So we've got 8 weeks now to get consistency and be firm with our selections. Let's kick off with you then, Roman. First game up is Celta at plus 240, draw plus 235, and Villarreal at plus 135. Two good sides. Goals look on the cards, but I couldn't tell you who's going to win.
Yeah, I have to agree because it's two sides which look good. Well, Celta, of course, had the slip in the Copa del Rey the other day, which has to be mentioned, I think, because it was a very, very bad defeat. It was a 5-2 loss against Ibiza, which is also a Segunda B team. And they really got thrashed, absolutely. Defensively, they looked very, very poor, and Ibiza were finding spaces all over. It's true it wasn't their strongest lineup, but still they had some good players on the field, and they had to win this game. I mean, it was expected of them to get a good result, especially taking into account that they'd had a decent streak in La Liga in the competition despite that loss against Madrid. So it looked okay for Celta, but then of course that Copa del Rey game, as I said, was terrible. And Villarreal, on the other hand, I think are a more solid side. I think they are the favorites for this game because let's not forget that Iago Aspas won't be available, and we know how important Iago Aspas is for Celta. He's maybe 70% of this team, and I'm not exaggerating. Iago Aspas is crucial for this team to work, not just scoring goals, but assisting and everything related to building up the play. On the other hand, Villarreal have a great record against Celta at Balaidos at their stadium, with just one defeat in the last 8 La Liga games they've played against each other. So Villarreal, it's a place, where they feel comfortable playing at Celta Stadium. And also, there is a few setbacks in terms of that midfield for Villarreal because we know that Iborra is injured for long term and Coquelin is doubt. So maybe Capué, their new signing, could start in that position. But apart from that, and maybe Alcácer, who's still recovering from his injury, I think Villarreal are the favorites in my opinion and should win this game. And also there was a follower in the chat, Ashton, who said that we wanted me and Martin to say hi and wave to them. So his sons are watching with him, so here goes that.
What's that nonsense? Waving and that. Come on, boys. Sort yourselves out. I want to know. Both teams to score looks an absolute knocker. So then if you go with Villarreal and both teams to score, then Villarreal double chance and both teams to score. And Martin,
no Aspas,
I know that...
Be careful.
Sorry?
No Aspas. Be careful. Scoring chances go down quite a lot, in my opinion. And Nolito's doubtful also, so just saying.
That's all I need. Game one, and Roman's putting pins in all my balloons. Martin, throw me a bit of positivity that Celta will score.
I wish I could, Flash, but...
Oh, no.
With Iago Aspas missing, he's their main man up front. He makes everything happen for them. He's their best finisher, but it's also what he brings off the ball, bringing other teams in, bringing other players into the game. I think he's going to be a huge miss. They had that new manager bounce, but I think he's pretty settled in there now. And Villarreal keep more clean sheets than I would have expected this season. With an Unai Emery team, they actually keep things reasonably solid at the back. Only 4 clean sheets to be fair, so that's not huge.
But they don't let in like 2 and 3 a game. That's the other one. I mean, listen, everyone's entitled to get a lucky break around the box, and with their penalties at a 1. I mean, you can have a team that only have 1 attack, they get a dodgy penalty, and then there's the clean sheet gone out the window, and yet they've been comfortable all game.
Yeah, sounds like Burnley. I really thought Celta Vigo could score against Real Madrid, and they let me down. So I'm not going to be going for that one, I'm afraid. I'm with Roman. I'm leaning towards Villarreal due to the injury problems that Celta have and the record that Villarreal have there. Not sure if I'm going to do it, but definitely leaning to the away team.
Okay, so listen, I think it's a really good game, Celta Villarreal. Let's move on to the next game because we've taken it up a notch. It's Sevilla at plus 125, Martin, draw plus 220, and Sociedad at plus 270. I cannot believe that Sevilla are plus 125.
Yeah, but another problem, Sevilla, they draw too many games, don't they? They're, they drew with Real Betis last time out. That was a horrible everyone expected them to go and beat Real Betis there in that local derby. Last time they played them, they absolutely wiped the floor with them after the restart last season in the summer. And they just didn't really get going in that game. It's a very disappointing result. They were in great form, but they draw too many matches for me, and that makes me always a bit worried about betting on them. I wouldn't mind going Sevilla draw no bet for an accumulator, but for a single bet, I'm not too sure just going for the outright win. I think Real Sociedad are running out of momentum a little bit. They've got a pretty small squad, and without David Silva, they have lacked a bit of creativity. It's good for them to have Oyarzabal back. They look a bit more dangerous with him. Did well in that big Basque derby against Athletic Club, but then really put in a pretty poor result against Osasuna. So I'm leaning towards Sevilla. I think I've got a weird bet, actually. It's a bet.
I know you've got a weird bet. I cannot wait for this one because everyone in the chat, you best be turning the volume up and not just concentrate on what he says, because I actually typed it and had to look at it 3 times before I sent it to graphics so that they would understand it. Please fire away, Martin.
So I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm looking at under 3.5 goals, but I think Sevilla will get a result. I don't see them losing it. So I wanted to go Sevilla draw, double chance, and under 3.5 goals. But that wasn't really giving me the value. So I also threw in Sevilla scoring over 0.5 team goals. So I've got Sevilla to score at least 1, under 3.5 in the match, and Sevilla not to lose. All of that, I've got odds of standard odds, minus 110, 1.91, 10 to 11. So all I need is under 3.5 goals, Sevilla to get on the score sheet, and Sevilla not to lose.
That's it. 1-1, 2-1, 2-0. It's crazy, but it actually works. There's a shock that the accountants come up with something so good at minus 110. So that's Sevilla. Double chance, score at least 1 goal, and under 3.5 goals in the game. I will read that out again later because obviously when I was writing it was like Mandarin, Roman.
No wonder. I mean, that's
He's done deep there. He's had 3 spades digging in. He's like,
yeah. He's gone in full deepness into that. In my opinion, I think personally, I would be leaning towards Sevilla, as Martin says, but I'm not sure I'd risk with this game. It's true that Sevilla are the favorite because not just because they're the better side. I think at the moment they have a better streak, I'd say, despite that draw against Betis. And also against Real Sociedad in the last 5 La Liga games, they've won 3 and they've drawn 2. So Real Sociedad haven't won any of the last 5, which is also an important stat to keep in mind. And also it's true that Real Sociedad don't have David Silva, which is also a very important player. And since he started his injury troubles in the last month or so, I'd say Real Sociedad maybe show their worst performances also. So it all coincides a bit, and I think Silva is really important for the team. And also, despite that win against Athletic from Real Sociedad, it was just a 1-0 win, and they also drew against Osasuna, which is a team that looks really poor. So Real Sociedad aren't convincing. I wouldn't bet for them. I would rather go for Sevilla, but it might also be a risky game because I think it's 2 very interesting sides, and Real Sociedad can always, get something out of these games because they have the quality to do so.
Okay, if you go over to the main website, obviously SBR, then they will have all the different books there. Have a good scout round. I know that Bet365 do bet builders. I know that others do the bet builders. So that's perfect. Double chance, Sevilla, over 0.5 goals and under 3.5 in the game, and it's minus 110. So just make sure you scout round. Don't be lazy. You can obviously tell that Martin's been up all night with that one. Now, I'll tell you what, this next game, that this is like choosing between 2 ugly sisters for me. It's Atletico at minus 185. Yeah. Draw plus 300. And Athletic Club at plus 700. Roman, you must feel my pain that I want Atletico to drop points. And then the one team that they're going to play this week, I can't trust them with anyone's money. And that's Athletic Club at plus 700.
I mean, I know you want Atletico to drop points at some stage.
More than one.
To drop all the points, whatever. But I still don't
to drop like 6 points in one game.
If only that could happen.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, I think it's complicated. I think, as I said before, despite that defeat against Cornellà, despite everything, Atletico, are a very efficient side, and they've had this efficiency going on for a long, long time. It's not just the last 2 years. It's been in the last, I don't know, almost decade, I'd say. They've been really similar because there hasn't been much of an evolution, maybe, but they still are always in that top 3 position. They're always, threatening with the top 2, and they're always there, and they're always getting good results. And also in this case, against Athletic Club, Simeone hasn't lost any home games against them in La Liga since he's been coaching them for 9 games. So it's a team that he knows pretty well. He understands. He knows how to find their weak spots. And on the other hand, it's true that Athletic do have the boost of the new manager, which is Marcelino, who's a really well-regarded manager here in Spain. He's done great things with Villarreal, especially, and Valencia. And I have to say that Athletic did look sharper offensively against Barcelona in that game. They got those 2 goals. It's true that Barca, we know, defend way worse than Atletico Madrid, but it's something that Bilbao can build on. And also, I've always checked the results from Marcelino against Atletico Madrid in his career. He's managed Racing de Santander, Sevilla, Villarreal, Valencia. And the last game he played against them with Valencia, he lost 3-2. But all the 11 games before that, all the results were either 1-1, 0-0, 1-0. No, there was never more than 2 goals. So for that reason, I think it will be a game in which Atletico Madrid will probably win a 1-0 or something like that. And also I have to point out that there is a storm here in Spain. There's a winter storm, which is called Filomena, and there's a risk of that game not being played, just so you know, as general information, because in Madrid they're not used to having so much snow, I guess, and if a lot of that falls on the field, they might have trouble organizing the match. So it's something to keep in mind.
Okay, draw at half-time maybe, Martin. Barca, just delete that. Just delete it. There's no good to no one, especially me in my fragile frame of mind at the moment. I don't need to be seeing that type of tip. Okay, Martin, come on, Athletic Club.
I'm going for Atletico Madrid to win this
game.
I
thought you were going to say Athletic Club then.
I just think, I know they might get that new manager bounce. There's always that worry that Marcelino is going to come in and really bring this squad together. I just think it's a bit of a strange role for him to have taken. At the time, Valencia were quite ambitious before, obviously, it all fell apart. But he had reasonable backing there. He could bring in good players. He's very limited in what he can do with this Athletic Club side. I think they've made a pretty poor start to the season. I'm sure he'll improve them, but I'm not sure he'll improve them enough to go straight out and beat a very strong Atletico Madrid team that are in really good form, surging with momentum right now. They know how to get the job done at home. I think they'll stifle the life out of this game, and they should just be more efficient in front of goal for me. So I've got Atletico to win and under 3.5 goals.
Okay. Okay. By the way, cool boy Noodles. Next week, there's no Premier League games this week. It's the FA Cup. I was toying with the idea of doing an FA Cup show. So what I may do is I may do an FA Cup show for the 4th round because obviously we'll have probably less minnows and we'll be able to work out which teams are taking it seriously, because that's the big problem you have, is that you don't know. And obviously there's COVID is rife amongst the football clubs at the moment. So again, you don't know the personnel. So it's just too risky. And listen, the Premier League's just risky at the moment. Let's move on. Granada plus 600, draw plus 400, and Barcelona minus 210. Don't know what you're getting, Martin, with Barca. And minus 210, there's no gifts.
Yeah, I totally agree on the subject of FA Cup. I'm just going to do a couple of fun parlays, stick a few teams together and put a small stake on it. For this game, I think it should be quite an entertaining one. Much prefer to watch this than the Atletico Madrid Athletic Club match. Neither team seems to be able to defend at the moment. Well, Barcelona, we know, can't defend. They've got injury problems. But I think they'll have a pretty good go at Granada in this game. Both teams very, very strong in front of goal. Granada did have a bit of a wobble mid-season. They had a real COVID outbreak and they were fatigued. But since overcoming that, they've looked good again, looked very sharp in front of goal. I expect them to get on the score sheet in this one against Barcelona. But I also expect them to concede, because we all know how good Barcelona are going forward despite the struggles that they're having. I'm going Granada versus Barcelona, both teams to score and under 5.5 goals at even money, plus 100.
Sounds good. So really, you're just basically getting both teams to score at plus 100. What about double chance? A Granada overpriced at plus 600, Roman?
I mean, there is a possibility. As a matter of fact, one of the bets I sent through was double chance, but Barca or Granada to win. I don't think a draw will take place, but I think that either side could win the game because we know that Barcelona, as Martin said, defend very poorly. Also, Lenglet is suspended, so there's another centre-back which won't be available. Although I'm quite happy with that, to be honest, because I think Mingueza has been doing really well when he's been playing instead of him. And Araujo, on the other hand, is also a great centre-back. So I'm kind of happy with that suspension, I could say. I'm not really liking Lenglet lately, let's say. And then also against Athletic Club Barcelona the other day, we're very sharp with that 4-3-3. They changed formation, and finally Koeman risked with that very popular formation in Barcelona, but he wasn't really willing to play it. And in the end, I think it worked quite well, at least offensively. And Barca's team, I think it was probably one of Barca's best games offensively, especially in that first half. So they're looking a bit better. But it's true, you don't know what version you're going to get of them. And playing away from home also, they have had a good streak of games winning out away, but still, I'm just not really convinced. And Granada, as Martin said, are also a dangerous team, which are getting a bit back in form. So I just kind of feel that it'll go either to one team or the other, and that both teams will score. I think that's also a very, very likely case scenario.
Yeah, it's crazy that my boys today are really digging deep because Roman's gone with Granada or Barca, double chance, so then obviously you just can't lose, and both teams to score. So as long as both teams to score, it's a winner with added value. You've got to put these together and make sure you get the value. Now, Dwayne, you're saying about, do you think there'll be that many goals? He said under 5.5. Under, not over. He doesn't, it's like just giving you massive, massive value. Also, unique football. You say you're new. What is the Alex Classic? The Alex Classic is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in the game. More importantly, if you're new, have you pressed the thumbs up? Have you turned it blue? Have you pressed subscribe? And have you rung the bell so I can notify you that next week's Serie A will be on a Wednesday, Bundesliga maybe on a Tuesday, Premier League maybe on, I don't know, 8:30 Eastern time on Thursday. And the fourth round of the FA Cup is when we'll do the next the show. I'll put it to the bosses. I'll tell them that you want the FA Cup show. Or maybe I'll get Dave in and I'll pull in Martin as well. Let's move on then. Osasuna plus 650, draw plus 360, and Madrid at minus 200, Roman. All of a sudden, I looked at Barcelona away at Granada at minus 210. Not for me. But Madrid at minus 200 at Osasuna, different kettle of fish completely.
I mean, Madrid are definitely a more reliable side at the moment, so you would want to go for them before Barcelona. I can accept that as a Barca fan. It makes all the sense in the world, of course. And they should be the clear favourites to win this game. I think they shouldn't have many complications, despite the fact that Real Sociedad did draw. I mean, Madrid, we all know, are a notch over those teams, and they shouldn't have any complications. The only thing that worries me is, again, this storm that we're having over Spain. And Osasuna is more used to playing in very cold, wintry conditions. So if the temperature is really low, if it's just snowed recently and the pitch is, it's not in optimal conditions, maybe Osasuna could take a slight advantage. But I don't know if it's going to finally affect the match itself. And Madrid overall are the better side. And also, they have Hazard back, so he could be a starter. That's definitely good news. Hopefully, he'll last more than 2 games without an injury. We'll see what happens. But that's definitely a boost of confidence for the team, having one of your star players available finally.
Okay, well, let's get this out early because I'm fed up with being right, but not mentioning it and then having to mention it the week later. When it's cold, go for draw at half-time because it takes the boys that little bit longer and they don't get to 100% capacity throughout the whole game. So you may be looking at 85% intensity. So maybe draw at half-time is the way to go, Martin.
Yeah, perhaps, Flash. I do think minus 200 is a very attractive price on a Real Madrid side that are in good form and that really need to win. Yeah, they do have a habit of dropping points against smaller opposition this season. Perhaps they're struggling a bit for motivation in some of these games. But I think it's about time Real Madrid went on one of those runs that they produced towards the end of last season. They have been doing it. They won a bunch of games in a row before that. One surprise result that we had a couple of weeks ago when they drew with Elche away, bounced back by beating Celta Vigo pretty comfortably. all of their games see under 4.5 goals. We haven't seen over 4.5 goals in a Real Madrid game for a long, long time. So Real Madrid and under 4.5 goals is a classic bet week in, week out. I've bet it pretty much every weekend so far, and it's made considerable profit once again. So I can't go against it now. You can get minus 120 on Real Madrid and under 4.5 goals. Don't think Osasuna will make life easy for them. I think it'll be a tough game, but they're strong in midfield, they're solid at the back, and they've got enough firepower to go and win this game, especially with Eden Hazard back. He's a big player for them, and they've got lots of options down the flanks anyway. So I think Real Madrid should win this one.
Yeah, and Osasuna can't defend. That is for sure. Roman, are you from Barcelona?
Yeah, well, they were asking if I was from Madrid, actually, but no, I'm from Barcelona. As you can see over here, my T-shirt also represents. And it's actually very cold here in Barcelona. We're not used to this cold in winter because this Filomena storm is affecting all of Spain, some parts more than others, but even Barcelona is feeling this coldness, which is terrible.
And Barcelona is your team?
Barcelona is my team, yes, as a matter of fact.
Glory hunting. Glory hunting. See,
I was born here.
You and on, whose team is Eibar. We have Paco on, who's Valencia. They're both crying in their soup. And along comes Roman with like one of the world's biggest clubs.
It's not. We're not doing great this season anyway. So, and I was born here in Barcelona. So come on. I mean, what do you expect? Well, it could be Espanyol.
Listen. You haven't got it. It's not Espanyol. It's not in Barcelona.
No, it's in Cornellà. I think you should know this by now.
Oh, I thought that Espanyol Barcelona was like a local derby.
No, it's just a joke we make because they recently, a few years ago, they built their new stadium right in the outskirts of Barcelona in Cornellà. So now the joke is that they're from Cornellà, not from Barcelona, but they are.
So who is Barcelona's local derby?
It's Espanyol. It's Espanyol.
Oh, so I was right all along.
Yeah, you're right.
We love that. We have a conversation for about 15 minutes, and then we come back to I was right all along. Okay, I'm coming back to you again, Roman, because I love this side. I love this side, even when they cost me money. Levante plus 130, draw plus 250, and Eibar, you go against them, they kill you, plus 230. But Levante are scoring goals again, and there's a confidence growing, Roman.
Yeah, I think Levante are a decent side this season, despite that they had lots of draws during a period of time. But still, they were draws with low scoring results. They were defending pretty well. And I think at home they're quite solid. And this game is at home, something they can make benefit of. And also, I've seen that Levante have drawn 60% of their games against Eibar, which is 6 out of 10. So a draw could be in the mix, taking into account that Eibar are a dangerous side. We can never really trust them. So that's something to keep in mind. And as I said before, Levante were drawing lots of games not long ago. So that's a very likely possibility. On the other hand, we have Eibar, who are dangerous, but they had a midweek game also of Copa del Rey. But in their case, they went on to extra time. They played versus Las Rozas, another Segunda B team, which went to 4-3 result. They didn't score right until the end to win the game. And so they could be maybe a bit more tired because some of the starters were playing. That's something also to mention. So I just think Levante are the favorites, but a draw is a very likely case scenario again.
Both teams to score. Both teams to score is always on the cards with Levante. It's just one of those whether you want to be taking the plus 130. I like them, but Eibar have been good on the road, Martin, and they have surprised a few teams.
Yeah, I don't like the look of this game at all, Flash. I'm leaning towards Levante, but Eibar have taken 4 points from their last 2 games, which was against Barcelona and Granada. So
I know.
You don't really want to be opposing a team when they're in that sort of form. I do think Levante are the better team overall, but not going against Eibar right now. Want to see them struggling for a couple of weeks before I start betting against them.
Okay, well, if you're an unders fan, the next game is going to be music to your ears. It's Cadiz at plus 185, draw plus 200, and Alaves at plus 200 also. And I like Alaves, and I think draw no bet for Alaves is definitely the way to go. They keep finding a way to get beat, but I'm sure one of these days they're going to come up trumps for me. Martin?
Oh, yeah, maybe. It's 2 teams that are sort of hovering around mid-table, but all it takes is a team losing a couple of games now to be sucked into a relegation battle. So I think it will be a hard-fought game. I can't really work out which way it's going to go. Like you, I think it will be an unders game. Like Román said, the weather's not great at all in Spain right now. So, don't know, maybe you'd be looking at bookings or something like that, but nothing really grabs me on this one. I'm moving on.
Is a storm in Andalusia as well, Roman?
Yeah, it's all over Spain. Yeah, everywhere.
Wow.
Even Andalusia.
Wow, because normally, obviously, they get the best of it down there. But are you with me with Alaves don't get beat? So it's like a bet to nothing.
I'm just not sure. I'm leaning towards Martin's opinion in this one. Sorry, Flash. I just can't really trust any of the two teams. I don't really know which way it's going to go. I was checking at previous results, and they've played 6 times in First Division, and 5 of those results have been draws, either 1-1 or 0-0. So unders are a possibility. Of course, those games took place a long time ago, but I feel like they're maybe in a similar situation in which there won't be many goals. Only Cadiz won one of those games, which was in 2008. That's the last one. So, I mean, I don't really know which way it's going to go. I wouldn't take any risks, and I think both teams are missing relatively important players. Like Cadiz doesn't have Jose Mari, which is quite important in their midfield. Alaves might not have Lucas Perez, who's doubtful, who's a very important striker, and then La Guardia, a very important defender, isn't available either. So these are a lot of question marks over this game for me, so I'd stay away.
Okay, well, Nunu says Flash is always wrong. Saying it once wasn't enough. He's typed it again. It could be a she. So you're just like, Nanu, you just come in here and you think you can just hit my confidence. I'll keep going, though. I will keep going, and I like Alaves not to get beat, so I'll stick to my guns. I like this game as well, funnily enough. I've gone with my 4 not-so-giant sides this week, and this is one of them. Elche plus 350, draw plus 200, Getafe plus 115. Not complicating this, Roman. I'm going with the visitors.
I mean, if I had to pick a team, it would be the visitors. It's a fight for relegation at this moment. It's a team that's in 16th position versus Elche, which are in 18th position. And Elche haven't had a win in the last 10 games in La Liga, which is also quite shocking. So, of course, it makes sense to maybe lean towards Getafe. But at the same time, careful, because Getafe haven't been very reliable either this season. They're capable of the best and mostly of the worst. But it is true that despite losing the other day, also they lost in the Copa del Rey against a Segunda B team. Lots of First Division teams struggled this midweek. They have brought in a couple of interesting signings, loanings in this case. Take Kubo from Villarreal, he didn't work there, so he's finally been confirmed. And he's going to Getafe, and also Aleñá from Barcelona. So these are very interesting, creative players, which might help in that midfield, which I think is lacking, that extra creativity they didn't have. And it's both of these players are from La Masia, from Barcelona, and they're joining Cucurella, who's already there, also from La Masia. So it's going to be an interesting midfield, which has been, fed of the best football, we could say, of that one-pass football, that quick moving with the ball, being creative. So, I mean, these players put together could be an interesting addition for Getafe.
Okay, Getafe away, plus 115 against Elche, Martin. I like the plus money, and as I say, I'm not complicating it.
Oh, yeah, they really badly need an injection of creativity, don't they, Getafe? Mm-hmm. I'm really surprised to see them down there in the heat of a relegation battle. They've been so good for the past couple of seasons, but yeah, it's been a terrible run of form they've been on, and the table's so congested right now that if that happens, you're right down there in the thick of it. These are the 2 lowest scoring teams in La Liga this season. Getafe are actually the lowest scoring team, so they really, really badly need more invention in that midfield. They've got some decent strikers. They're just not getting enough chances created. But Elche are a pretty poor team in front of goal too. You can look at under 2.5 goals, but the best price you can get is 1.47, which is very unattractive. You might go for under 1.5 goals and you can get plus 135 there, but it's a bit risky. I'm also leaning towards Getafe because I just think they're a better team, but I'm a bit burnt by their recent results, so I think best to leave them alone for this one and pick them up a bit later on in the season.
Yeah, maybe both teams to score, no, but I don't fancy that's going to get you rich. Maybe, Getafe and over 1.5. Maybe that's probably the way to go. But I've just gone with Getafe plus 115. Now, next game is Valladolid at plus 115. Good game, bad game, score, can't score, then go on a run. Draw plus 225. And Valencia at plus 200. Well, we know that you don't get on that Valencia train much, Martin, but then you did. Are you staying on it?
I did. I jumped back on the train because I'm not betting on them on the outrights whatsoever. But looking at the trends, they're just both teams to score keeps paying off in their games. It's paid off in more Valencia games than any other team in La Liga so far this season. 12 out of 17 now. They very, very rarely keep clean sheets. They've kept 2 clean sheets so far this season out of 17. And so have Valladolid. I don't know what happened to Valladolid. I mean, they used to be really solid at the back. Yeah, their best centre-back got injured, so they've had to play a slightly different brand of football this season. But they're taking more risks. They're a lot more fun to watch. And, yeah, I'm liking them more. But they can't defend anymore. 2 clean sheets out of 17 all season. Both teams looking pretty decent going forward. So has to be both teams to score again for me. You can get pretty good odds on it. I got -105.
-105, which is 1.95. Roman, do you see both teams scoring? And are Valencia going to get the win?
Both teams scoring, I think, makes quite a lot of sense based on what Martin said, because it's true that both teams aren't great defending at the moment and they're possibly better attacking. So I think it's a good possibility. But also keep in mind that Valladolid is a team that struggles a lot against Valencia. They haven't won against them in the last 10 La Liga games, and in the last 16 games in La Liga, they've only won one, which was back in 2009. So it's a team they always kind of maybe feel a bit smaller against them. Although, of course, this isn't the Valencia maybe from previous season. It's a Valencia which looks very badly. They're fighting for relegation right at the bottom of the standings, something which I think is very surprising. I mean, we all expected them to have a poor season, but not this poor, I'd say. They've conceded 25 goals already. Only, I think, Huesca and Betis are the only sides that have conceded more. And also, they won't have Guedes for this game, who's suspended. Paulista and Gameiro are also injured, so important players won't be available. So, of course, it would be too risky, I'd say, going for one side or going for the other. So I think both teams to score would be a more reasonable bet.
Yeah, it looks to be the safe way. There's plenty chat going on. There's 89 of you watching, only 59 thumbs up. So if some of you are watching, see the thumb like that. If you press it, it goes blue. And that helps us out when I go to see the big bosses. And I say to them, yeah, listen, they're interacting. They're having a chat with us. And now they're pressing the thumbs up because they are enjoying it. Listen, I mean, I've not even seen... Has anyone seen Rude Boy for a while? I've not seen him in there. So maybe that's why we haven't got... Oh, there's the thumbs down. There is the thumbs down. That would be Rude Boy. He's not typing, but he is putting the thumbs down. Okay, last game. And I like this game as well. Huesca. Too big for me at +195 at home. Draw +240. And my fade train of Betis will continue at +155, Roman.
As I said before, there were 2 teams that have conceded more than Valencia, and they're playing together, strange enough. So it's Huesca against Betis. Huesca have conceded 26, Betis have conceded 31. So I guess we can expect goals, especially I think Betis are very likely to score in this game. Huesca not so much, because offensively they still have certain struggles and problems. But really I can't trust any of them. If I had to pick a side, I'd maybe say Betis, despite it's a away game. They could maybe build up on that draw against Sevilla. They weren't too bad. They were quite decent. They had some opportunities. And with Canales back, they do seem a bit better than they were looking maybe a couple of weeks ago. So if I had to pick a side, I'd say Betis. But it's also a game I'm not too sure who will win.
Okay, draw no bet, maybe double chance Huesca. I looked at it. Huesca, they were like -180. -180 for double chance. So I've gone with Huesca. I think draw no bet. Martin?
Yeah, both teams to score is -120, which is interesting when you consider how bad both of them are defensively. I do think that Betis are better going forward. They've got a lot more quality. They should be winning this game. This is a must-win game for them. You've got to beat teams like newly promoted Huesca if you're going to get out of a relegation battle for Betis. They should be a mid-table team with the quality they've got. It's not working out for them. I think probably best for me to leave this one alone. Leaning towards Betis and maybe both teams to score, though. Interesting looking at the relegation battle. What do you guys do? You guys think that the 3 teams that are in the bottom 3 now are going to go down, or can a big team like Valencia or Real Betis could they actually go down this season? We saw it with Espanyol last term. What do you think?
It is a possibility, in my opinion. I mean, as you said, Espanyol is an example. I've seen other seasons where Betis looked like a good side and they ended up going down. I mean, it happens. So it's very likely, especially taking into account how Valencia have been doing with the manager, with the board, all the troubles they're having, if they don't really bring in any players during this window, it will be very troublesome for them. I still think they'll save themselves, but there is the risk, I'm saying, and I don't know. I think there'll be some change. I don't think these three will go down. I think Elche are very likely. Huesca, I'm just waiting for them to click, but it doesn't seem like it's happening, so they look very bad. And Osasuna look terrible, but they're maybe more used to being in the first division, so we'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to size of squad. You know that. I think a team could go the last 10 games of the season, not pick up any points. And also, it's normally one of them sides that think they're safe. You go in like the end of March and they think, oh, we're okay, we'll cruise home. And all of a sudden, the desperation in the other sides kicks in and they're swallowed up into the dogfight and they weren't ready for the scrap. Okay, so thumbs up, please, gentlemen. We've got 66, which is obviously a good year for England. Let's have a little look at these picks, please, Fab. Okay, Martin's picks, and it is like war and peace. Real Madrid to win and under 4.5 at -120. Now, here we go. Sevilla, double chance. Sevilla over 0.5 and under 3.5 goals in the game at -110. Atletico to win and under 3.5 at -110, hex. Granada, both teams to score and under 5.5 goals at +100. Valladolid, both teams to score -105. Now, Roman's picks, Atletico Madrid to win and under 2.5 goals at +175. So basically, he's going for Atletico Madrid to win to 0. That's what that is. Okay. Barcelona or Granada double chance and both teams to score at +132. Which is just unbelievable because it's basically Barcelona or Granada, 1-1 or better. Madrid to win and over 2.5 goals at +110. I like that. I think that's very good. Now, here we go. Here's the value. Huesca, draw no bet, +100. Getafe, +100. And then I did see there was 115, but hey. Alaves, draw no bet, +100. And Levante, Alex Classic, at +135. Just cannot believe that that's +135. I can't see Levante keeping a clean sheet, but I can see goals. Now we need 2-team parlay. I want no squirrel. I want the best value that you have seen on this card. And also, if you've got something to say, fling it in the chat and then I'll file it under rubbish. Okay, Martin, give us it.
Real Madrid to win under 4.5.
Oh, listen, do you know how many times you've said that? Real Madrid, and they let us down every single week.
When have they let us down?
Whenever you've gone with Real Madrid in a parlay. Because you've seen parlay. Have you seen them? 16 weeks, 15 losses, and one. And I reckon that one win of our parlay was in week 1. Mate, we got all too cocky. So what are you going for? Real Madrid?
It's definitely not Real Madrid that are letting us down. They've got 5 wins in their last 6 games.
Yeah, we haven't picked them for 6 weeks. Real Madrid and what? Under 4.5?
Yep.
And what price?
-120, 1.83.
Oh, that's decent, that. I like that. Real Madrid to win and under 4.5. Come on, Roman.
I'm going to go for the other Madrid team, Atletico Madrid.
No. That's apart from that one, okay? I can't be sitting with my parlay and having them. I can't be cheering them on. I'm sorry.
You seriously don't rely on them. I mean, they're so consistent in the sense. I mean, for me, it would be the clear pick. I don't know. Let me see what else. The other option I had was.
No, that's a great option. Whatever it is, it's the best option I've heard, Roman.
It was the Barca Granada one. That was my other pick.
Who?
It was the Barca Granada double chance. And both
I like that. That's a great bet.
All right.
+100. Yeah, love that. Anything but that other one you was going to be saying.
We'll talk about Atletico on Monday. We'll see what happens.
Oh, come on. You listen. You will see. Are we here on Monday then? Are we doing a show Monday?
Oh no, wait, no, the 18th. Sorry, Monday the 18th. Yeah, it's
sorry. Let's talk about it, Flash. We'll call you and talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah, just call me anyway, just to rub it in a bit more. I've got Rampage and I've got his sister, Rude Boy, ringing me and texting me and tweeting me. The worst thing I ever did was follow him. Okay, so listen, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. It's been a good show. I've enjoyed the chat, missed Rude Boy, but hey, he'll be back, I'm sure, or she will be. And press the link in the description and that will take you over to the articles wrote by either Martin or Tan or Alex and everybody else covering all the different sports on SBR. Please press the thumbs up on the way out. You can press the thumbs down if you want as well. It just shows interaction. We'll see you next week. There is no La Liga show. Serie A will be on Wednesday. Bundesliga maybe Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday. And Premier League will be Wednesday or Thursday. So you must ring the bell so that I can notify you. Have a great weekend. Come on, Athletic Club. Do you hear what I just said? Ciao.